Whenever I see my cell phone is blowing up like crazy, I got all these people contacting me, people that haven't talked to me in a few weeks or a couple of months or whatever. I'm like, what's going on? It's the middle of the night. Why are people calling me like this?
So Billy Carson, he's a popular YouTuber. He talk about forbidden knowledge. Forbidden knowledge, I'm not sure why he calls it forbidden knowledge, but the reason why I think he calls it forbidden knowledge is because what he is sharing, it's what a lot of people are not agreeing with. A lot of people believe in God. A lot of people believe in Jesus. You know, you have the Christians, you have the Muslims. You know, you have Judaism. But forbidden knowledge, you know, he's talking about aliens. You know, the Anunnakis, the people who came from heaven came to earth. You know, like in the Bible, how the book of Enoch spoke about the Watchers. And, you know, he's been talking about the Watchers actually being not God, you know, the Elohims.
It's the middle of the night. Why are people calling me like this? I read a couple of the messages, and it's about this video that's out. I'm like, what video is this? What's going on? They're really pissed off about it because they said, man, this is like some kind of setup you're in, Billy. What's going on here?
A lot of people believe in God. A lot of people believe in Jesus. You know, you have the Christians, you have the Muslims. You know, you have Judaism. But forbidden knowledge, you know, he's talking about aliens. You know, the Anunnakis, the people who came from heaven came to earth. You know, like in the Bible, how the book of Enoch spoke about the Watchers. And, you know, he's been talking about the Watchers actually being not God, you know, the Elohims. Actually, I'm not going to do too much history on Billy Carson because this is not what this video is really about. What this video is really about is like he's been catching a lot of heat, a lot of red flag. Because he's going to let Billy Carson speak for himself. He has some explaining to do.
It's out. Then I go to Mark to text him, and I see he has sent me this long message about, I'm so sorry, I apologize. Oh, I click on it, and it's about this video that's out. I'm like, what video is this? What's going on? They're really pissed off about it because they said, man, this is like some kind of setup you're in, Billy. What's going on here? I click on the video, I see it, I realize it's out. Then I go to Mark to text him, and I see he has sent me this long message about, I'm so sorry, I apologize. I wasn't supposed to put this out, but I had to release it because of too much pressure. I was under so much pressure, and they were attacking me.
What it's really about is like he's been catching a lot of heat, a lot of red flag, because he apparently had some kind of debate with somebody else who seemed to be a little bit more knowledgeable about ancient history, the Bible, and theology in general. And for some reason, Billy Carson did not look too confident in that debate, if you want to call it that, or interview. So there are a couple of videos on YouTube right now that is just talking about Billy Carson exposed, calling him a fraud, calling him a liar. And of course, Billy Carson is making a response video to defend himself. And from his response video, he's going about telling, allegedly, he says he was sick, he had a near-death experience, he had pneumonia, his lungs was completely filled up with mucus, bacteria, and he only had 20% lung capacity, and he was completely out of it. So he was set up. Apparently, it was kind of like an ambush. Imagine you go to a friend's house. So apparently, this debate happened at a friend's house, a neighbor, of course. And so you go to the friend's house and you think you're having a regular conversation about just what you believe in.
I apologize. I wasn't supposed to put this out, but I had to release it because of too much pressure. I was under so much pressure, and they were attacking me. Exact words. So I said, okay. That's not acceptable. So I go to my computer. I write a do not consent form, a professional do not consent form. I print it out on my printer. And the next thing I do is I head over to his house. Now, they try to make it look like I'm pulling up on a YouTuber. I saw some video. Billy Carson's his career is going to be ended because he just pulls up on YouTubers, as if I drove through the middle of the night in a snowstorm to go bang on this guy's door and tell him to take the video down. That's not what happened at all. You see, Defendant 1 and I talk very often in the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why is because we work so much. That's usually when we can have our conversations. I've got dozens of conversations and dozens of times that we've met and talked in the middle of the absolute night. When people are sleeping, we're up. We only sleep about 4 to 5 hours a day. Sometimes I sleep 6 max just because my wife really wants me in bed sometimes. So, but that's all we sleep. People that are busy, we're busy people. We're not slackers out here. We're grinders. So we're always up talking. So for me to get up and say, I got to go over to his house. I got to find out what's going on here. It's my friend. Like, what is going on? Like, I need to find out what desperation is so bad and so severe that he feels that this had to be done against my wishes and against my will. So I get out and
not knowing they have not knowing this video could potentially be posted on YouTube. I'm not sure if Billy Carson was aware of if they were recording a video or not. But apparently, at some point during the debate, he became aware that, okay, this is not going right. And these people seem to be, like, they're doing this for malicious purpose. Like, they're going to use this video against him. So, of course, now the panic. He does not want the video being released. But the neighbor apparently released the video. But the neighbor is not anybody who makes his money from YouTube. He's not a YouTuber. Probably has other business. Allegedly has other businesses from which he makes his income. While Billy Carson makes his income off his image. So I can see how you could have an envious neighbor who does not like the fact that they have to wake up and go to work every day while you just post videos off your phone and make hundreds of thousands or maybe millions. I'm not sure how much money Billy Carson is making. But Billy Carson is here to defend himself. And I'm going to let him speak for himself for a little bit. And I'll let you know what I think about it. So, honestly, I think the entire forbidden knowledge, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. Like, when I hear Billy Carson speaking about ancient civilizations and just talking about his forbidden knowledge, you know, telling you what he thinks. He thinks Thoth was the teacher of Jesus Christ, the Messiah. You know, these are like stances. He takes so many stances that is just like so rare. And they're like so shocking that it kind of catches your eye. Like, you're like, I never heard that before. I never heard that before. But his confidence when he's expressing himself.
Actual house, which is right around the corner in my gated community. I didn't drive through the night. I didn't drive through the sleet and the snow and track him down and search for him on Google Earth and all these crazy contrived ideas. I literally just went right around the corner and rang his doorbell. And what did I do when I went there? I recorded myself. And I'm glad that I did because of this contrived doorbell video. How did the doorbell video get out? This is why he became defendant number one. He became defendant number one because by releasing the doorbell video, he now lets me know that he was in full collusion with this activity after being in some way attacked and pressured into releasing this, which I believe did happen. He then succumbed to this pressure and wanted to be all the way in to show, like, I'm loyal to you guys. So make sure you don't use my name in anything and make sure you don't attack me. Very feminine. Extremely feminine. Very weak. Very weak. See? It's a weak man. So here's the doorbell video. Listen closely. I'm at 9901. Approximately 2:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Especially if you're somebody who's never heard this, and this is somebody who seems to be more knowledgeable about it, you're just taking it at face value, of course, right? You're just agreeing. You may do your research later or you may not, depending on how interested in this topics you are, you know? So, Billy Carson seemed like a very good salesperson. He has the gift of gab. That is what I could tell, because I do too, you know. So I could tell a salesperson when I see one. So, and then the greatest story ever told is just this story of Jesus Christ, God, and how we got here on earth. People are still trying to figure this out. So for the rest of the world and for the rest of our lives, people are always going to have this question. And so I'm sure Billy Carson understands that this is a topic.
He said, man, this is like some kind of
that is forever going to be a trending topic. Gods,
I click on the video, I see it, I realize
start on this earth.
It's out.
Nobody really knows. Everything is all speculative.
To text him, and I see he has sent me this long message.
Great marketing, you know. I've learned a lot from Billy Carson. I really have. I don't believe everything that I hear. I take everything and I learn from it. So to all those religious skeptics out there, I know you guys may think you may have exposed Billy Carson. Yeah, probably yes, but I feel like everything does happen for a reason because Billy Carson doing the teaching he was doing, even though it may seem like he's turning a lot of people away from the Bible, but at the same time, those people who have doubts about the Bible and actually are thinking about aliens and all this other civilization, he fed into that, which is good, right? But now, those same people probably did more research about the Bible and then compared it to what Billy Carson was saying. So I feel like we're on this earth to definitely seek knowledge, not just get it from one source, and then I'm sure our conscience would guide us correctly. So you have Billy Carson who is talking about the Anunnakis. He's talking about towards the Atlantean king and how, you know, he's talking about the Hall of Amenti, how these guys could reincarnate and everything else. Very interesting. So anyone else who may have those kind of things or have the impression that, okay, maybe the history we were taught in school is not correct, Billy Carson being exposed would definitely bring those people closer to Christ. That is one way to look at it. They would forget about all that, whatever Billy Carson has been teaching to them. Maybe this is God just working on our behalf. But on the other hand, another positive way to look at this is that Billy Carson doing what he was doing made more people do their research and to find out, is this guy correct? And yeah, they definitely seek more knowledge from his teaching. And the good thing about the Most High God, he would always be glorified at the end of the day. You could go around the corner, you could, come about it in a negative way, but at the end of the day, he always takes glory. So think about it this way, right? So Billy Carson, he's saying what he's saying. It makes people want to do more research into the Watchers and do more research into the Earth and the solar system and the stars and what really exists outside of Earth. So it makes them inquire more knowledge, which is a positive thing. The knowledge they may have gained, it may not be correct, but one thing is they did do more research to learn more about what life is really about on Earth and how we got here. And by the time Billy Carson gets exposed, or if he is getting exposed, I'm not really sure. I don't know who to believe at this point, right? Those same people would be like, oh my God, I'm running back to Christ because Billy Carson is a fraud, right? So at the end of the day, even when a false prophet preached the Bible, right? There's always somebody over there with a positive mindset who is really thinking about getting closer to God, who is still being inspired by that message, and God's seeds will be planted in his heart, and that seed could germinate and become something bigger, and this person become a better person in life, even though the seed was planted from somebody who was technically called a false prophet, right? So Billy Carson, I'm not really saying he's preaching the word of God or whatever, but one thing he is doing is making people think about it, right? And just the fact that they're thinking about it alone, that means they're doing some kind of soul searching and trying to figure out how they got here. And yeah, let me know what you think about this video. So I'm gonna see how this ends out. He's talking about suing people and taking them to court for, I guess, defamation of character or whatever, because this is how he makes his money. This is his job, forbidden knowledge, and if these people are sharing this kind of videos about him, that could definitely hurt his business. So anyhow, let me know what you think about this video. But one thing I do know is Billy Carson doing what he's doing, it's very interesting because you have a lot of other people who are not African American preaching the same message. There's nobody trying to expose them. How come it's always the black guy that someone is trying to expose? Muhammad, the religion of Islam, not everybody believe in it. Some people think it's of the devil. How come they're not trying to expose it? Jehovah's Witness, not everybody believe in it. How come they're not trying to expose it? So it's always something that is started by somebody within the African American community. As soon as it start gaining any kind of traction, let's try to discredit it as much as possible. Like the voodoo from Africa, it's bad, right? That is what the world think. Christianity is supposed to be good, right? Even though he killed so many people. I do believe in God, don't get it twisted. I'm just non-religious. I do believe in the Messiah, I do believe in Jesus Christ, and I do believe in the Most High God. But I just choose to not be part of any sect. My goal is to inquire as much knowledge as I possibly can. And I'm sure my conscience will guide me in the direction of truth. So, with that said, so there's so many other religions out there that people don't believe in and they think they're of the devil, right? How come there's nobody out there trying to expose them? You have young Billy Carson over here making all this traction. His videos are going viral. And of course, you got somebody trying to expose him, which is true because the person seemed like they have a lot of pressure on him. Maybe that is God putting pressure on that person to expose Billy Carson, right? And if Billy Carson did get exposed, meaning more people are going to turn towards God, right? So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is God will be glorified. So, is this a bad thing that he's being exposed?